Hello, and welcome to the Delaware Blogger Podcast. I'm your host, Antoinette Blake, the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. And every week I come to you with podcasting pointers that will help you to share your mission and your vision just using your voice. A new episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast publishes every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you wish to sponsor a show, please send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. Again, a welcome to the Delaware Blogger Podcast. Listen in and share with a friend. Hello, and welcome to the show. This is your host, Antoinette Blake, the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. And let me tell you, this is going to be a unique show because I am still exhausted from being at PodFest 2022, the Black PodFest in Atlanta last week. It was amazing. There were so many podcasters that were there at all levels. I mean, it was awesome. And I had an opportunity to present podcast promotion via social media, which I've covered on this show so many times. And it was absolutely amazing. This was actually the collective. This is what they do. Connect with them. Black Pod Festival. I cannot wait. They just started in 2019 and this was 2 days. I missed the second day because of the airline thing, but it was 2 days that started at 9 a.m. all the way till 6 p.m. They had some networking events. I, of course, did the podcasting at 9:45 that morning in the Decatur Lounge, right? The Decatur Room, Atlanta, Georgia, right? They had food trucks, right? Great food. They had entertainment. How do you kick off a conference in the morning? It was like, electric slide, right? Yeah, so that's how they were doing it. It was great. I mean, you've got to check this out. I'm going to leave. I was going to do a blog post, and I probably will still do a blog post about this, but you got to find and follow them, Black Pod Festival. So that's just the introduction to today is episode number, what? 300, episode 300 of the Delaware Blogger Podcast. And I'm going to talk about, interview styles because I've been doing a lot of interviews. You guys know that I have been interviewing, the end of April. Also, I interviewed 23 TEDx Wilmington speakers. And some of them are actually coming back onto my show on the Out and About with Antoinette, which is every Wednesday at 1 p.m. So check out that show as well. Man, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So I wanted to revisit some of the things that you should and should not do when it comes to interviewing. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to do this promo for my buds at Comic-Con that's coming in August. Make sure you check them out. It's going to be amazing in Wilmington, Delaware. So we're going to talk about that later, but we're going to do the interview tips today.
Earth 2022, somewhere in downtown Wilmington, Delaware.
There's a force that is gaining momentum. The might and agility of stunning graphics.
The stamina and flexibility of great storytelling mixed with food, family, and fun exploding onto the scene.
At the second annual Comic Artists and Creators of Delaware event, held at Artscape, 205 North Market Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. August 5th from 12 to 9 p.m. and August 6th from 12 to 7 p.m.
Black comic history,
cosplay,
artist vending,
comic story sharing, and more are in store. It's your opportunity to celebrate art and community, so be there.
So, as we begin, the one thing that I always say is you want to be organized. You want to know what you want to talk about to your guests, which is what I do. I always send. I have copies here. I'm actually down there. I have a Google Doc, and in it, it's a release form as well as a registration. I want to know, how they want me to address them. What are some pet peeves they may have? What are we going to cover? And I just take all that information, and that becomes the flow of the show. It can kind kind of change up, we can change it up. But again, it helps us stay on target. And then I tell them, when we do a break, when we do a 5-second countdown, that's when I'm going to put in the advertisement. So then they can literally see me because I'm doing this on Zoom. So, know the questions. Of course, you're going to ad lib, but want to keep them on task because you don't want to ask them a question that they've not thought about and then they're hemming and hawing and wasting time. So make sure you're organized. You have a script in front of you. You can have your bullets in front of you, but it just kind of helps with the flow of the show. And stick with questions that is your guest niche, what you want to talk about. Like some people come on the show and they can cover everything from A to Z, but you're going to be targeting in on what your audience is wanting to hear about. So stay on that, that topic and try to keep them, in because they can go off and hijack your show. So just make sure that you're not asking them some off the wall questions that has nothing to do with their subject or their niche. And again, send those questions in advance so that they can, think about how they want to answer, the best way to answer it and put their best foot forward. This is your show. Yes. It is your brand. Yes. But they want to be, comfortable as well. So make sure you've got that organized script. You've sent them questions in advance. Let them know you may do some ad libbing, and that will help everyone stay, on the flow of the show. And don't forget your introduction. Script it out if you have to, take from them. Again, if you want a copy, I have a sample copy of what I send to my guests. It's my release and registration form. And it just kind of asks them questions, like what is their name, obviously, but how do they want to be addressed? My name's Antoinette. You guys know me as Antoinette, but suppose I want you to address me as Tony, then I'll put that on there. And then you can say, hey, Tony, welcome to the show, blah, 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 blah. So have that information available so that they know that's the best way in which to do so. And the final tip is allow time, right? Build in some time for that ad libbing because they may want to branch out and broaden. Let people know how to connect with them after the show. And then always thank them. That's one thing that you always want to do. Thank them and give them an opportunity to share their URLs to their website, to their blog, their social media platforms or anything like that. And of course, thank them so that when, they feel comfortable. And then when you're ready to publish it and you get it out there, ask them to share the show with their friends and their family as well. And that's going to help, you broadening your brand and expanding your exposure. So today I just wanted to get on here. This is the first time I've ever done a behind the scenes, and I wanted to do this, a behind the scenes of a podcast show. So this is not going to be a long show. Again, it was a great, great event at Black Pod Festival in Atlanta. I want to thank everyone. Ono, thank you all. Ona, she is the founder of Black Pod Collective and Black Pod Festival, and she's got a great team behind her, Donald, Sierra, Nadia. And here are some of the speakers that were there. Again, this was an amazing event. So I want to thank you guys so very much, and stay tuned for the blog post. I will follow it up. In the meantime, in between time, if you want to see some of my presentation, head over to my YouTube channel, Delaware Blogger. So today we talked about, some tips for hosting your interview. Be organized, send questions in advance, stay on target, script out your introduction, and of course, always thank your guests. So this, again, is episode number 300. I think I'm going to take a break before I start season 7 because I want to get things lined up, but I didn't want this last show to be too heavy, too deep, or too long. So again, thank you so very much for supporting the Delaware Blogger Podcast, and stay tuned for some exciting news coming soon. See ya. It's the DE Diva. Thank you all for listening to today's episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast. And if you found anything that I've said of interest to you, please subscribe and share it with others. You may even want to leave a rating or review. And check out a few other episodes too. I invite you to subscribe to my blog, adelblogger.com, where you'll find more podcasting pointers and blogging tips and links to purchase a copy of the Basic Blogging Tips for Beginners or Podcasting Your Purpose resource guide on Amazon. I invite you to send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com to schedule a 15-minute complimentary discovery call or to enroll in the 5-week podcasting coaching session. So until the next time, this is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger, wishing you and yours a beautifully blessed day. And remember, sharing is caring. So please share this episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast with your friend, your family, your bae, and your boo too. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger.